Welcome, everybody. We're going to look at some integration techniques using substitution. When you have an integral, and usually the way these work out, you'll have a term that is collected in a group of parentheses or maybe under a radical inside an absolute value. They're usually wrapped up in some kind of a grouping symbol. This is really backing out of chain rule. And one of the more straightforward techniques is to take your grouped term or terms and replace that with a single letter that's different. U is very common in a calculus textbook, and it's usually called U substitution. In our book, it's called substitution method. So I'm going to let U represent our grouped term, 5x cubed minus 2. The derivative of our grouped term is 15x squared dx. That 2 goes to 0. Now, what you want to look at is back in your original problem, you take your group term, we've replaced that with the letter u, so this is u to the 4th. The remaining part of the original problem, we have to account for that x squared dx. From our derivative line in the substitute, we can get x squared dx by dividing by 15. So 1/15 du is equal to x squared dx. And this is highlighted so that these highlighted portions in the original integral, you can replace those with 1/15 du. By substituting your grouped terms with a single letter, it greatly reduces your integral and it makes it easier to find the antiderivative. So let's add 1 to the power. That makes it u to the 5th, dividing by the result, 5. Multiplying by 1/15, that's 1/75. Now our substitute comes back in 5x cubed minus 2 to the 5th plus our constant of integration. So usually what we're doing is we're gaming this with a group term to usually some power, and the chain rule is involved because the derivative of the inside group is 15x squared, so we have to account for the 15 and the du once we make our substitution. So you kind of have to keep in mind this is chain rule in reverse. Our next example that we did in class, 7x over 2 minus x squared quantity cubed. Our grouped term is 2 minus x squared. So that's our substitution. We're going to let u equal 2 minus x squared. The derivative of our substitution is du equals negative 2x dx. Back in the original problem, x dx is not that hard to achieve. If we divide off this negative 2, that'll give us negative 1/2 du equals x dx, which just happens to be the remaining part of this problem. It's easier to see if you pull this 7 out, and with your property of integrals, you can always pull a scalar multiple out. So that 7x on top, you can pull that 7 out to the front, and then you can see where your x dx is exposed, and we're going to trade that out for a negative 1/2 du. Now in our denominator, we have our substitute cube, so that's why there's a u cubed in the bottom. Combining our front coefficients, that is negative 7/2. To make it easier to integrate, I'm going to pull this u cubed to the numerator. It'll be u to the negative 3 power. And then our antiderivatives, where we add 1, that makes negative 2. Divide by the result, negative 2, times our leading coefficient, negative 7/2. These negatives cancel. 7/4 u to the negative 2, but I'm going to move that u to the negative 2 back to the denominator so that the power is positive again. 7/4 times our substitute squared plus c. The next example we covered in class, we had the integral of x over square root of 2 minus x squared dx. This time we have 2 minus x squared under a radical. Now it's still grouped together, so let's start with that as our substitution. We'll let u equal 2 minus x squared. Taking the derivative of both sides, we have du equals negative 2x dx. Go back to the original problem, and we know that we're going to have a square root of u in the denominator. This x dx, we traded out with a negative half du. Square root of u is u to the half. Since it's in the denominator and we bring it to the numerator, that half becomes negative. So 1 over square root of u is equivalent to u to the negative half. Now we apply our antiderivative property. So add 1, that takes us to u to the positive half. Divide by the result, 1/2. This negative 1/2 in front, the 2 and the half, I wrote that in blue, the 2 and the half multiply out to 1. So that leaves us with negative u to the half plus c, trading our u back out for the original terms. That's negative 2 minus x squared quantity to the half. And if you wanted to get fancy, you can, because that's a power of half, you can return to radical form plus our constant of integration. Either one of these is just as good as the other. The second line is just if you want to return to radical format. The integral of cosine 3x dx, the only thing that we see that's in a grouping symbol is the angle of cosine. Let's let u be 3x. Taking the derivative, we get du equals 3 dx. In our original problem, we have cosine of u. Dx is all we need to account for, so dividing by 3, that gives us 1/3 du, and that's equal to dx. So this dx is highlighted. We can replace it with 1/3 du. The antiderivative of cosine u is sine u, so that's 1/3 sine u plus c. Replacing u with 3x, that is 1/3 sine 3x plus c. Now earlier in the video I'd mentioned we're looking at doing chain rule in reverse. If you were to take the derivative of this term, you would have 1/3 cosine of 3x times 3, because the angle has a derivative of 3. Well, the 3 that you chain to the end and the 1/3 that's your leading coefficient will cancel, and it will leave cosine of 3x, which is precisely the original problem. You can always check your answer by taking the derivative of it, and it has to give you the original problem back. In our last example, we had a really difficult looking integral. We had 2 over theta squared times cosine of 2 over theta. Nothing really looks grouped, so this was kind of pick something and try it out. So in class we let 2 over theta, because that's an angle, we let our substitution be equal to 2 over theta. Well, 2 over theta is equal to 2 times theta to the negative 1. Taking the derivative, we get du equals negative 2 theta to the negative 2 power d theta. Let's go back to the original problem. We have this part accounted for, that's cosine of u, but we also have to account for 2 over theta squared d theta. If you transfer the negative over, then you have exactly that, 2 over theta squared d theta, and that can be replaced with negative du. So the antiderivative of cosine u is sine u, don't forget your negative, plus c, and then change your u back to 2 over theta, and you have successfully found the antiderivative. I hope this video helps you out. Reach out by phone or email. Come by the office if you're on campus, and I'll do my best to help you out.